This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, just to conclude, today is the Yahrtzeit of Rabbeinu Yisrael Meir HaKohen, the Baal Chofetz Chaim. Chaf Dalid Elul. Dvarim Gedolim Einam B'Mikra. Why is the Chofetz Chaim's Yahrtzeit Chaf Dalid Elul? What happened on Chaf Dalid Elul? Nothing happened on Chaf Dalid Elul. What happened on Chaf Hei Elul? Chaf Hei Elul, God created the world. Vayomer Elokim Yehi Ar. God said, "Let there be light." And on the 26th day of Elul, Hashem said, "Vayomer Elokim Yehi Rakia." And on the 27th day of Elul, Hashem said, "Yikavu Hamayim Al Makom Echad." And on the 28th day of Elul, Hashem said, "Yehi Me'oros." And on the 29th day, Hashem said, "Yishitzu Hamayim." And on the 30th day, Hashem said, on Rosh Hashanah, Hashem said, "Nasa Adam." So what happened on the 24th day of Elul? The 24th day of Elul is Koidem Brias Ha'olam. That's the day Koidem Brias Ha'olam. So we have to ask, that's the day of why Hashem created the world. The 25th day is Hashem created the world. The 24th day is the tam for the Bria, the purpose of creation. Why did Hashem create the world? The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, "Ba'asara ma'amaros nivra olam, v'haloi b'maimer echad yachal lihi baris." In one maimer, Hashem could have created it. Why did Hashem create the world 10 maimeros? To give schar to the tzaddikim that uphold the world that was created with 10 maimeros. So before Hashem created the world, there had to have been a purpose for creation. What was the purpose of creation? The purpose was the tzaddikim for who the world was created. Now, in the last 1,000 years, who would you say was a tzaddik for whom Hashem created the world? Who do you think meets the bill? In the last, I don't know how many years, if there was ever somebody that everybody would agree, he's the tzaddik that when Hashem said, "Nase Adam ne'emar ba'avurai," it would probably be the Chofetz Chaim. So the Chofetz Chaim's Yahrtzeit is Chaf Dalid Elul. He's sort of the tzaddik for whom everyone strives to be, that bishvilai nivra ha'olam. Sefer Chofetz Chaim. How old was the Chofetz Chaim when he wrote it? 30 years old. Chofetz Chaim wrote it at 30 years old. He wrote it anonymously. Sefer Mishnah Berurah, he did not write anonymously, because people are going to have questions in halacha. There has to be an address. When the Mishnah Berurah was published, the Chofetz Chaim would spend many, many hours reading every single page to make sure that there were no errors, because if there was an error, not that maybe somebody would make a mistake in halacha, he might be cheating somebody in money. So therefore he went through every page to make sure there were no blank pages, and then he stamped it, Muga. And you could still get today, you could spend a lot of money to get a Mishnah Berurah that has the stamp of the Chofetz Chaim, that it says Muga. I want to read to you one simple line that the Chofetz Chaim writes in the Hakdama of his Sefer. The Chofetz Chaim says that anyone who reads his Sefer should be danhim l'kavschos, and not to think they're extra words or extra letters or superfluous expressions. Says the Chofetz Chaim, the vast majority of my books, he says, ki kol sif v'sif mi sefer hazeh, iyanti by harbe. I went through every sif many times. Not only that, uvedibuk chaverim gedol etar, discussed it with gedolim. V'chipasti chipos achar chipos shol yimatze b'shas stiro l'dvareno. Every sif, I scan through Shas to make sure there's no contradiction to what I'm saying. Many times I analyze one halacha for many, many days. And the Chofetz Chaim says that the reason why he didn't want to divert from the words of the Rishonim. He says most of the words of the Chofetz Chaim comes from the words of the Rishonim. The reason why he did not want to revert from the words of the Rishonim, he says, you ready? This the Chofetz Chaim says in the Arurim. Va'avakish l'didi hakarei. I ask my beloved reader, shazois ha'psicha yikra v'yachzor v'yikra. You should read over this psicha many, many times. What's the psicha? The psicha basically is that if a person speaks Lashon Hara, you violate 17 lavin, 14 aseh, and a whole bunch of arurim. Why is it so important? It will be the most effective in encouraging a person to stay away from Lashon Hara. Why? Because the words of this psicha come from the Rishonim. And the words of the Rishonim, asher divreihem kedoshim utahirim. The words of the Rishonim are holy and pure. Boyarois kamari halapidim. They burn like a torch. Okay. Ubevadai shamru es atzman mimida grua hazu atachlisu. You can be sure the Rambam, Rabbeinu Yoina, they personally, in their personal conduct, were careful in Hilchos Lashon Hara to its epitome. Therefore, when somebody in their personal conduct is careful, Divrayim poyalin ma'oid belev koreyen. Their words are much more effective on the reader. Says the Chofetz Chaim, the reason I did not want to deviate an iota from the words of Rishonim is because they, in their personal conduct, were so careful in Hilchos Lashon Hara, their words themselves are so powerful. Everybody knows the Chofetz Chaim himself, in his personal conduct, the Shevet HaLevi in his drashos, Reb Vosner writes in his drashos that 60 years ago, two Talmidim of the Chofetz Chaim told him, Hafla v'fela, that any word the Chofetz Chaim ever said about anything always came true. It was uncanny. If the Chofetz Chaim said something, it always came true. In the 30s, the Chofetz Chaim said, he gave a clap on the bima, and he said, in World War I, 12 million people died. But in 10 years, something will happen that will make World War I like child's play. And then the Chofetz Chaim broke down crying. Chofetz Chaim was a Baal Ruach HaKodesh, but it was uncanny. Any word he uttered was Niskayim. Says the Shevet HaLevi, this is the kiyum of the pasuk, La yachel devarai. If a person does not profane their word, kachal hayotzei mipiv yaseh, then everything that comes out of their mouth is fulfilled. Chofetz Chaim, when he was in his 90s, a student came to visit him, and the Chofetz Chaim said, Shalom Aleichem, and he tells the Talmud, well, Rebbe, what do you want? Chofetz Chaim said, come close. Okay? He said, look into my mouth. So the Talmud thought he was going to die. Look into the mouth of the Chofetz Chaim. So he starts coming close. The Chofetz Chaim said, get even closer. Then the Chofetz Chaim said, open up my mouth and look all the way in. So the Talmud thought he was going to go into the Sha'al Tachtas. He looks into the mouth of the Chofetz Chaim. Chofetz Chaim said, count my teeth. He counted 32 perfect, pristinely white teeth. This is not in America where you can have teeth whitening. This is I don't think they had all the different products that we have today. I'm pretty sure in Radin, they were not available usually in the pharmacy over there. Chofetz Chaim had 32 perfectly white teeth. When the Chofetz Chaim reached advanced age, he put in an ad in the newspaper announcing his age, because he says his whole life he's teaching the world about the importance of Lashon Hara, and that it helps you live long. What would have been if his message would have been diluted if he personally did not live ba'arichas yamim? So l'kadei shem shamayim, he put an ad in the newspaper. So I think we could definitely say about the Chofetz Chaim that the reason why his words are so effective, I mean, think about what one person accomplished. Sefer Chofetz Chaim, Shmiras Halashain, Avas Chesed. The Mishnah Berurah took him 25 years to write. Tzipisa li Yeshua, Nidchei Yisrael, Shem Oilam, Sefer HaMitzvos HaKatzar, Zachar LeMiriam, Chayvas HaShmira, Ayim V'Noira. Okay, Zechusa Yagin Aleinu, and have a good day.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.